Welcome, everyone. Have you ever wondered about that secret battle that goes on inside your head every single night? You know, that complicated dance between your desire to sleep and some mysterious force that keeps you wide awake? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on that force, a neurotransmitter called dopamine, and we're going to find out exactly how it controls how we feel, how we think, and most importantly, how we sleep.
Does this sound familiar to you? It's 3 in the morning, your body's practically begging for rest. Your muscles are aching, your eyes are burning with exhaustion. But your brain? Oh, your brain is running a marathon of endless thoughts, analyzing a conversation from 10 years ago, planning out projects for the year 2040. You're tired and wired all at the same time. So what is actually going on here?
Well, what's happening is a fierce game of tug-of-war right inside your skull. On one end of the rope, you've got your exhausted body that desperately needs to recharge. And on the other end, you have dopamine, a powerful and sometimes pretty sneaky player that decides to pull the rope in the complete opposite direction.
Okay, let's just pause for a second and correct a common misunderstanding. Most of us hear dopamine and we think of happiness, rewards, that piece of chocolate. And that's true, but it's only half the story. Think of dopamine as the ignition switch for your brain. It is the #1 thing responsible for alertness and motivation. High levels mean go, go, go. Low levels mean, all right, time to power down. The real problem starts when that switch gets broken.
So let's start with our first story. It's a baffling case that so many of us have been through. The paradox of being tired and wired. Just picture this scene with me. You're a college student, and you spent the entire night studying for a make-or-break exam.
And here is where the stunning contradiction appears. Your body is in a state of total collapse. Every cell is screaming for rest. But your brain? Your brain is on another planet. It's in the state of hyperactivity. You might even feel this weird sense of euphoria, like you could solve the world's most complex problems. Your mind refuses to give up, insisting, no time to rest, we are at peak focus.
And here's the twist. The reason is that severe sleep deprivation pushes the brain into a state of emergency, so it pumps out extra dopamine to compensate for the fatigue. It's a short-term defense mechanism to keep you awake and functional. This dopamine gives you a false sense of alertness and energy, while your body is actually slowly falling apart. It's a chemical trick.
Now let's move on to another story. This one is from the modern era, and it happens every single night in millions of bedrooms all around the world. It's the story of the notification trap, or the social media trap.
You know the drill, right? You decide you're just going to scroll on your phone for 5 minutes before you go to sleep, and then, after what feels like just a few moments, you look at the clock and realize an entire hour has gone by. What happened to those 5 minutes? You, my friend, just walked right into the trap.
You might think we're exaggerating, but science has something else to say. A study showed that making just one post, a single post, an hour before you plan to sleep can keep you awake for an extra 1 to 3 hours. Yes, a single post can steal up to 3 hours of your precious sleep.
The reason, once again, is dopamine. When you post something, your brain enters the state of anticipating a reward. The likes, the comments, the replies. Every single notification is a tiny shot of dopamine, a jolt of wakefulness. That dopamine is screaming in your brain, stay awake, something exciting is happening. And at the exact same time, melatonin, the hormone of darkness and sleep, is trying to whisper to you that it's time to rest. It's a chemical battle, and your phone is betting on the wrong team. We're moving on to our third story now, and this one is a clinical case that shows us the severe consequences of a dopamine system breakdown. This is the extreme case that proves the rule, the story of sleep disorders in patients with Parkinson's disease.
Parkinson's disease, which is known for how it affects movement, is really, at its core, a disease caused by a malfunction in the brain cells that produce dopamine. And what a lot of people might not know is that this malfunction doesn't just affect movement, it flips the entire sleep-wake cycle upside down, causing severe, intense sleep disorders.
Patients suffer from these terrifying symptoms like sudden sleep attacks during the day, where they just fall asleep abruptly in the middle of a conversation or while eating. They also face severe problems in the dream stage of sleep, REM, which makes their sleep fragmented and not restful at all. And this proves definitively that tampering with the dopamine system is not a game. It's interfering with a fundamental system that controls the entire rhythm of our lives. So, from the student who feels energized after a sleepless night, to the social media addict who can't put their phone down, all the way to the clinical case of Parkinson's, we see a clear pattern. The hidden relationship between sleep and dopamine isn't so hidden anymore.
We've cracked its secrets. So, the most important question now, after all this analysis, is how do you win this game? How do you take back control of your sleep from the grip of this fickle dopamine system? The good news is that the solution is way simpler than you might expect.
The solution lies in two simple but incredibly powerful steps. First, prioritize sleep. Sleep isn't a luxury, it is vital maintenance that resets your brain chemistry, especially dopamine. By getting enough sleep, you restore your body's natural balance. Second, set a limit on screens. Make your bedroom a screen-free zone for 2 to 3 hours before your bedtime. Give your brain a chance to calm down. Let those dopamine levels gradually decrease, and make way for the sleep hormone, melatonin, to do its job.
And in the end, remember this fundamental truth. You can drink coffee, you can scroll through your phone, you can try to stay awake by sheer force, but ultimately you cannot trick your brain's chemical system for very long. That false sense of alertness that dopamine gives you comes with a price, and that price is your physical and mental health. The need for sleep will always win.
This was just one story out of the amazing secrets that neuroscience has in store for us. If you're ready to uncover more of the codes that govern our daily lives, don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.